Hi everybody, welcome to Christian Homestead. My name is Jared. If you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe. We have an update on the Red Heifers. This actually comes from about a week ago. It's an article from Israel 365 News, written by Eliyahu Berkowitz. Now, it was probably, I can't remember, probably about like a month or two ago, I told you that I was going to email him because I've interviewed him before on the channel. And he told me at that time that he didn't have any updates and that we would do an interview possibly this month or next month, which I think is still going to happen. He's written a book about the Red Heifers, but I don't know. It may have been after he got my email that he checked in with the Temple Institute and then he wrote this article. So this is the most recent update that I have on the Red Heifers. Now, before we get into it, I want to address something really quick. A lot of you forwarded this video to me. As you can see, it looks like maybe originally it was a YouTube video and then it was posted on TikTok and then now it's on Facebook. It's one of these videos that makes the rounds. And it has some information in there. It's like a compilation of video clips and it does show some articles from Israel 365. But I would encourage you to be careful with the content that you consume. Make sure that it actually ties down to reality, that you can verify what they're saying. That's why with my channel, I'm very strict with putting all my sources in the description box. This is actually why I have my spreadsheets, because I want to tie everything down to an authoritative source. And this video kind of did that, but there was one claim that it made where it said that the ceremony of the Red Heifers was going to take place during Passover of 2025. And I don't know where they got that. There's been one thing that Eliyahu Berkowitz has been really frustrated about is you have a lot of groups out there that come up with all these like weird theories and ideas about the Red Heifers. A lot of them are like evangelical Christian groups that are enthusiastic about the third temple and the Red Heifers. And they get things wrong and it's just hearsay. This person right here is not the person that made this video. So just so you know, but they shared it on Facebook and you guys shared the link for this with me. So we need to make sure that we go to authoritative sources. We go to primary sources if possible. So for example, here's me talking to Eliyahu Berkowitz, and I asked all the questions that I had about the Red Heifers in this video. And I asked some of your questions that you had submitted. And I don't have any further questions other than, is there an update? So if you have questions about, how it's supposed to be performed, does it have to be done on a certain day? Stuff like that, it's all answered in this video. And it does not have to be done on a certain day. So here's Adam. Here's Adam talking to Rabbi Azria Ariel. And who is he? This is the Temple Institute website. This is the organization that would perform or oversee the ceremony. And he is the head of their research department. And here he is with Red Heifers. So you have to go to good sources and avoid hearsay as much as possible. So this article is written by Adam, and it's called Rabbi Ariel. That's this person right here. Rabbi Ariel. At this moment, it is not clear whether we have a red heifer suited for the ceremony, which, that's kind of disappointing. Now, as a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, this is not something that we still do. This is an Old Testament thing. However, one thing that we are waiting for is the temple in Jerusalem. I am of the opinion that the BYU Jerusalem Center can be converted into a temple, like an administrative headquarters type temple, like the Kirtland Temple or the temples of New Jerusalem. I don't know that for sure, but it is in a prime location on the same ridge as the Mount of Olives. It's on Mount Scopus. Although, if the way it has to play out is that the Jews build the third temple, then this does matter because the Jews have to get the ashes of the red heifer before they do this temple. I mean, they could build it, I think, but they couldn't perform the services in it because all Jews today are considered ritually impure. So that's why they need the red heifer. And this is kind of like one of the last things that they need to go forward with the third temple. So that's why I'm interested in this. Okay, so let's go ahead and read this. Zoom in. Quote, at this moment, it is unclear whether we have in our possession in Israel a red heifer that is verifiably kosher and suited for the ceremony. Oh, by the way, this comes from this YouTube video right here. It's in Hebrew, so if you speak Hebrew, you can watch this. It doesn't have a translation. Although, I'll let you know this. I think it was like last week, I got a notification from YouTube saying that they're going to be rolling out like an AI automatic translation type thing, so that going forward, any foreign languages will be automatically converted into English, like audibly. So maybe in the near future, we'll be able to hear the AI translation of this interview. But okay, so for right now, about 2 years ago, 5 excellent red calves were brought to Israel. They had to be checked and certified in America as perfectly red, but several months after they arrived, they began to grow white hairs. This is an ongoing discussion in the Temple Institute regarding their suitability, about whether the proximity of the hairs to each other disqualifies the cows or not. End quote. A red heifer is an entirely red female cow with no more than one non-red hair on its entire body. Okay, later on, quote, the question now is how to proceed. There are several essential questions that must be addressed regarding the cows themselves and other issues surrounding the issue of the temple and the temple service. We are speaking with a wide range of rabbis and professionals about these issues we haven't dealt with in over 2,000 years, end quote. Rabbi Ariel noted that temple consciousness is strengthening in the public. Now, I have this highlighted because, like I've said a million times, whenever we talk about things having to do with Israel, Judaism, Jerusalem, whatever, is that the Lord, I believe, is preparing everybody in the world in their own way for the second coming. Every nation, tribe, religion. And so if the Jews are witnessing things that they feel is heralding the Messiah, then what I think is going on is that they're being prepared for the second coming. So when he says that he thinks that temple consciousness is strengthening, I think that's probably the Lord working with the Jews, preparing them for the Messiah, Jesus Christ, when he comes again. So Rabbi Ariel noted that temple consciousness is strengthening in the public, and signs of this can be seen in the names of children named after places and individuals associated with the temple, and in the public discourse surrounding this issue. Quote, awareness of the temple is even rising among Israel's enemies. Soldiers returning from Gaza spoke of pictures of the Dome of the Rock in their homes, and many expressed a desire to hang pictures of the temple in their homes. And I thought that's kind of interesting because as members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, that's what a lot of us do. We have pictures and photos and paintings of temples in our home. Usually a temple that's significant to us, maybe the first temple we went to, or the temple that we were sealed in as a family, or whatever. So it's just an interesting thing. A while ago, I covered another article from Israel 365 News where it was talking about how for the first time in 2,000 years, priests, so like they track the lineage of their priests. They're called the Kohanim. They're the sons of Aaron. And for the first time in 2,000 years, you had priests that gave soldiers blessings as they were going to war. This was a story that came out of, I think, New York City or New Jersey. I can't remember. But the priest would receive a request from a soldier that was going to Israel because they were like dual citizenship, or they were a citizen of Israel and they were being drafted. They would go to the priest and ask for a blessing, and then the priest would lay their hands on that soldier's head and pronounce a blessing. So it's really interesting how things are developing and how Judaism right now is changing. It seems like it's entering a new era. So, all right, continuing. The awakening indicates a strong desire on the part of the public to connect with the holy place, end quote. Later on, here's another quote from Rabbi Ariel. The American Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, sorry, I'm not familiar with that name. Is it Hegseth? I think it's Hegseth. Pete Hegseth went to the Temple Mount and stated that it is time for us to move forward and build the temple. This interest is seen on the internet on sites like Wikipedia, where there are spikes in views on articles about the Red Heifer. This is on articles in English and even Arabic, as well as other languages. But there is not such an interest in Red Heifer articles in Hebrew. And then at the end of the article, it says, Rabbi Ariel noted a correlation between the rising temple consciousness and a strengthening connection to Hityashvut, or settling in Judea and Samaria, which is otherwise known as the West Bank. This was manifested in a sharp rise in Jews ascending the Temple Mount in purity, a practice especially strong among young people from Judea and Samaria. Yeah, and right now, I haven't checked up on this in a while, but there was a bill that was introduced into the Knesset to have Israel exercise full sovereignty over the West Bank. And of course, and again, they refer to it as Samaria and Judea, and that would include East Jerusalem, I suppose. So things are getting really interesting really fast, and we still haven't really seen the conclusion of this war. I don't know if it's kind of like dying out, but I don't think it's over yet. But anyway, that's all that I have for this one. So I'll put a link for my interview with Adam in the description box below. You may also be interested in my interview with Rabbi Gerfein. I was set up with him through Israel 365. He lives in West Jerusalem. And we spoke for about 2 years, about once a month on average. And I learned a lot from him. But in this video, we talked about the Red Heifers, and he had some stuff to share. It's at the beginning of the video. But all right, well, that's going to be it for this one. If you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe. Like this video if you liked it. Leave your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. Also, make sure to share it, and I'll talk to you guys later.